Our top story here at 9 o'clock, former FBI Director James Comey accused President Trump of trying to burn down the entire FBI. And he also blasted congressional Republicans for failing to push back against the president. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan shows us what led to Comey making those critical comments, Dave.
And one, he certainly has taken his pounding over the last year or so, but this was James Comey unchained. It was supposed to be another hearing aimed at Hillary Clinton and targeting the former FBI director. No cameras allowed. But when the closed-door interview ended, it was James Comey who went on the attack, challenging Republicans whose silence he said was shameful to stand up for the FBI and defend it from the president's unfair attacks.
So another day of Hillary Clinton's emails and the Steele dossier. This while the President of the United States is lying about the FBI, attacking the FBI, and attacking the rule of law in this country. How does that make any sense at all?
Former FBI Director James Comey was on Capitol Hill for a closed-door interview with two Republican-led committees investigating what they say was bias at the Justice Department before the 2016 presidential election. Taking their cue from President Trump, who has ripped the FBI, accusing the agency of investigating his ties to Russia, while clearing former Obama administration Secretary of State Hillary Clinton for her use of a private email server, an issue they would apparently like to keep alive for many years to come.
So even the inconsistencies on why he allowed no legal counsel to be there for General Flynn, and yet with Hillary Clinton allowed not only legal counsel but fact witnesses to be in there. Why would he treat Hillary Clinton different than he treated the President Trump's administration? People believe that there should be one rule that applies to everybody, not just the well-connected.
But Comey was more interested in the presidential attacks on the FBI, many of which have been based on lies and misinformation, and the negative impact they may be having on the top federal domestic law enforcement agency in America.
I find it frustrating to be here answering questions about things that are far less important than the values that this country is built upon.
And a frustrated Comey called on Republicans on Capitol Hill to stand up, have some courage, and tell the truth.
At some point, someone has to stand up, and in the face of fear of Fox News, fear of their base, fear of mean tweets, stand up for the values of this country and not slink away into retirement.
Comey also weighed in on a weekend tweet from President Trump in which he called his former attorney and fixer, Michael Cohen, a rat for cooperating with a federal investigation.
This is the President of the United States calling a witness who has cooperated with his own Justice Department a rat. Say that again to yourself at home and remind yourself where we have ended up. You need to stand on your feet, overcome your shame, and say something.
But White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders tweeted, Republicans should stand up to Comey and his tremendous corruption, from the fake Hillary Clinton investigation to lying and leaking to FISA abuse and a list too long to name. The president did the country a service by firing him and exposing him for the shameless fraud that he is. In the closing week of this congressional session, the Republican leadership may be taking one last chance to fire up their anti-Hillary constituency before the Democrats take control of the House next month.
This second day of interviews, I do believe, is a waste of the taxpayers' money.
Now, the Republican closing act will continue because it's not over yet. CBS News reports there will be more interviews on Wednesday when former Attorney General Loretta Lynch, another favorite GOP target, is scheduled for a closed-door interview with the two Republican-led committees.